Hello everybody, this is Ordaehn. I'm going to be doing another 1v1. This is against Angry Joe Protoss, red, and I am the blue Zerg once again. Kulas Ravine. I'm top left, he's in top right. I'm probably not going to respond to him and just decided not to in this game. This was a little while ago. And so I'm going to speed things up just slightly. Pretty standard for me. I'm going to send the overload over to the center area. I don't like going out and totally scouting with them. You don't ever really know what people are going to do, and sometimes if you're not paying great attention, bad things can happen. And so on this one, I don't know if I did the extractor trick or not. It looks like I'm going to just pump out that overload first and then do the extractor trick to get that other drone out. I'm going to go scout. I'm going to start bottom left. Got that other overlord, and I'm going to send him over here to watch for cheese. Looks like he, in this case, has his gateway started, pylon. About the same on units right now, but that's going to change in a little while. I went for a 14 pool or 16 pool, regular standard stuff, so I was at 14. Getting my first extractor. I didn't expand in this game right away. Usually I would expand by 16, and especially before I did any that extractor. Given that I didn't know where he was at yet, I already knew when I started this game that I was going to do a Zergling rush. I was going to mass some lings, so I wanted to get there as quick as possible, and that's why I've got 3 drones on this. You'll notice it changes to 2 drones in a little while. I'm going to follow him there, those Zerglings. As soon as I hit 100, I'm going to pop this thing out, and I'm definitely going to take a drone and start with that expansion soon, but the Evo chamber's going in. I'm going to get speed upgrades here in just a second, and then as soon as this is done, I'm going to get the first weapon upgrade and start pumping out lings. I've now, no, almost, but I'll pull the second drone off there in just a second. Over here, if we look again, he popped out a cybernetics core, and if you look at another video of mine, you'll notice he did a much better job of blocking off his cybernetics core with a pylon. In my game against PPC, he did not do that. He put it right out in the open, and I took it out. So he's got a couple of gateways, a couple of pylons here. I've gone and started with my hatchery there. My queen is over here dropping some larvae in. I've got a couple of Zerglings. I really want to wait for this to finish, but as soon as this is done, I really do know that I need to go. If we check out me right here, I can see what he's got, and I know I need to go. He doesn't have a whole lot there. So I'm going to get running out of there. Oh, got some lag there for a second. So getting back to this, I've just got this started. I'm going to pop a queen onto this pretty soon. I'm not too worried about it. Again, I just noticed he didn't have a whole lot of units. I have not noticed his robotics facility, and if I had, I would probably be taking for mutas right away. So I've got most of my lings. I put a couple of them over here, and the rest of these are going to go in. As I did in that other video, I pulled a few off, and you got to tell him to attack the buildings you want him to hit. I'm going to take out this pylon. It's not going to Psylock him, but it's going to take him a little lower. When he opens up, I rush around to get a surround on those. Send a couple of these in to attack him, and doing that, he didn't pay very good attention. Now, what I should have done here, and I don't, now I'm slowing things down, is I should have pulled those off earlier. As soon as this dies, I probably should have gone back over and begin picking on maybe this pylon, that one, or finishing on something I had been working on here. But instead of doing that, I farted around and tried to kill 1 or 2 of these and didn't really get anywhere. So pretty even here. He did just pop out an observer, and so he's going to go and give scout on me. I've got a couple more lings coming in here, and here's my second wave of lings coming in. He's got 3 zealots. And really what I should have done here is pulled a bunch of them off and forced him to fight me with 1 zealot with the remaining units here. And so I spent some time attacking him. Really should have finished off that cybernetics core. Right here, pulled off those backlings and started focusing on that, but I don't. It gets pretty boring at this point. I do focus it down partially, and I start picking on the gateway slightly. I can only get 2 or 3 lings onto this, and so I get it pretty low. I really should have kept him busy there and made sure that I killed this, but that sentry is picking away on these lings, and he's doing a good job of focusing those things down with that sentry. So get it pretty low, get this thing down out of the shields, but over here I've got a couple lings for defense. He's scouting me. I'm starting to spine crawler. I do have this down, which means I can expand there pretty quick, and I've started my hatchery with the plan of going for mutas here pretty soon. He's got this observer. He's going to scout through my base. Got my overlord in my standard spot. Generally, I would get another overlord when I have one sitting around here and get it up to his expansion over here, but I did not do that in this game. He's warping in a couple more stalkers. pretty decent defensive units. Getting a robotics bay, obviously he's going for Colossus. He probably saw my Zerglings, and I decided when I saw that robotics bay that he was probably going Colossus, and so I started beating down these Instructables because a lot of times they will bring Colossus up here and harass you from the above here because they can just walk up and down the cliff. So over here I've just started my Spire, and I did get a Baneling's Nest because I had the idea that if I do get some Lings and some Mutas, I'll be able to go in there with the Banelings and maybe bust this apart a bit. This is pretty low, and so it'd be pretty easy to sacrifice, 5 or 6 Banelings and just blow this whole thing to pieces and then rush in there with Zerglings. So I've got not a lot of units now. I have a couple of Lings over here. I got this Queen. At this point, though, as soon as I started this, I started thinking less about how important this was and more about how important it was that I start harvesting on this one. And so I did get a second Queen with the thought of being able to, share life between the two of them and do a little pumping in there. Here's the first Colossus, and he has quite a few of these Stalkers, Sentries, Zealots in his Colossus here. I have some Mutas that have been started. There are a few of them that have been started over here. And you'll notice here, pretty soon this is going to pop out, and I'll throw a Queen onto it. I send one of these Lings down, and then he just gets blown up, and at that point I knew that he was there. I started this Spine Crawler hoping maybe it'd keep him busy. They do focus on that, and you'll notice I get a couple of injections here, slowing down those Zealots pretty well compared to how I thought they would go. And so he's got a couple of those Stalkers. All the Zealots are gone. I sacrifice those, and I'm focusing the Stalkers best I can. The Colossus doesn't do very well against that Queen, and if I had done better, I probably would have sent that other one up. I'm just trying to pick up that Colossus. I do get a Stalker, so he's got a couple Stalkers and a Colossus. He's going to pick on these, pull these drones up to this expansion. At this point, I had almost given this up, except for the thought that, let's see if I can finish it off, pick off those Stalkers, take everything out, and then get in there and use this kind of as a bait area. I don't really care if it dies or not. Like before, he had sent those units up there, and so I'm going to go around here and do a really bad job of microing with these guys. I do, however, decide that I'm going to send these Lings that I have up here, send a couple other Lings that I have, and I'm going to surround him. He doesn't have a whole lot he can do. He's in some deep crap now, and he knows that Colossus is going to die. So I do pick that off, and then go down and finish that off. That hatchery's still alive. At this point, I go into survival mode. I do have level 2 on my missile attacks and melee attacks. I've decided at this point I'm going to go for Mutas, mostly Mutas and Zerglings. Use the Mutas to try to pick off what I can, definitely do some distracting with them, and so I've got quite a few Mutas that are going to start popping out here pretty quick. I got one there. Got some drones that are popping out here, and I've started my gas, and I'm dropping down a little creep here so I can move faster. Got a Changeling I'm going to go send into his base. He may or may not detect it. I know he does have that observer, but he's kind of given up on that, and so now I got this little guy running in there. He does something pretty stupid. He knows that I have this open here, but he sends the Colossus up there anyway. Now, he's probably going to pick off a few things. He does a little scouting there with it, and I scout that. It doesn't really matter, but I know he's coming at that point, so the element of surprise is gone. I have quite a few Mutalisks that are popping up. I figured I'm probably going to lose this. I'm probably going to lose that Queen anyway, and so I'm going to take these Mutas. I'm going to gather up. First thing I'm going to do is focus down those Stalkers as best I can. So I get that. I do get a couple of Zerglings here. They may or may not end up dying. So there goes that hatchery. It's going to go down pretty quick. I'm going to fly right in there and focus down that Colossus. No, sorry, focus down those Stalkers. One Stalker down. A little better micro here would have been better. He runs that Colossus away, which is it's both smart and stupid. He's just suiciding these units now. He knows he's toast, and I just surround him and take him out real quick. And at this point, I want to get in there as fast as I can and start picking on his base. So I'm going to fly these Mutas over here, and I'm going to go in there, and then I'm probably going to decide whether or not I want to fall back. I'm not entirely sure yet. I notice all his cannons now. I didn't notice those before, and I'm going to go for his pylon here. Maybe pick on that. Play a little harass back and forth. I got one of the Stalkers. I got a bunch of Lings here. I should have left these Lings where they're at now. They just get over there and just get smashed by those Colossus. I probably could have taken out more, but I did depower that one, and I'm probably going to depower the whole section, taking out that pylon, and then I'm going to get my Mutas out. Thinking back, might have been smart to come in and finish off the Cybernetics core while I have the chance. He is unable to produce any more Colossus because I got both those pylons. He builds another gateway. He's getting these pylons back up, so he'll get these on operation, but he can't do it.